Most people think the best deal at Sam's Club is the rotisserie chicken or the bulk toilet paper, but they are dead wrong. Right now, in the back of the store, there is a literal gold rush happening in the bakery department. And if you aren't there by 10:00 a.m., you're probably going home empty-handed. We're talking about a brand new release that has completely flipped the script on what Warehouse Club dessert is supposed to be. It's not just a snack. It's becoming a social media phenomenon that's causing actual sellouts across the country. After 15 years of tracking wholesale retail trends and literally deconstructing thousands of Members Mark products to see if they actually beat the name brands, I can tell you this: I have never seen a bakery item disappear this fast. I've seen the seasonal surges, and I've seen the holiday madness, but this is different. The pain of driving 30 minutes to your local club, getting through that massive parking lot, only to find an empty shelf where the Members Mark French vanilla pound cake should be. It's real. And look, I get it. You might be thinking, Kaka, it's just pound cake. How life-changing can it be? But it gets weirder. The secret isn't just in the flavor. It's in how Sam's Club changed their entire production line to make this specific item happen. Most people don't realize that standard grocery store cakes are basically sugar-heavy sponges designed to sit on a shelf for a week. This new release, it's a total industry disruptor because it's using a triple-fold moisture technique that you usually only find in high-end, $60 boutique bakeries. But here's the kicker. While everyone is distracted by the flashy fruit tarts and the massive cookie trays, the real pros, the people who actually know how to hack the Sam's Club system, are grabbing 3 of these at a time. I know this sounds like hype, but stick with me, because there is a very specific reason why this cake is currently the most gate-kept item in the store. If you want to stay ahead of these warehouse restocks and actually get the value you're paying for with that membership, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. I'm about to break down exactly what makes this specific recipe so dangerous for your diet, and why the competition is absolutely terrified. Now, you might be asking, if it's so good, why aren't they just making more of it? The answer is actually pretty calculated, and it has everything to do with a massive shift in how Sam's Club is competing with Costco this year. It turns out, the shortage isn't just a fluke or a shipping delay. It's a deliberate move in the massive warehouse war that's currently playing out between Sam's Club and Costco. See, for the last decade, Costco has owned the viral bakery crown. Think of those massive pumpkin pies or the legendary tuxedo cake. But Sam's Club just pulled a hold my beer moment by shifting their entire supply chain to prioritize higher-end ingredients that actually spoil faster. I've been tracking retail margins for 15 years, and usually, these big box stores want a shelf-stable product that can sit for days. This new French vanilla pound cake? It's different. They're using a high-fat butter ratio and real vanilla bean specs, not the cheap imitation stuff, which means the shelf life is cut in half. But it gets worse for the competition. By making a product that has to sell out fast, they've created this scarcity loop that's driving foot traffic through the roof. I've talked to floor managers who say they're seeing people wait by the bakery doors at 9:00 a.m. just to snag a container before the lunch rush. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a pound cake, Kaka. I can get that at any grocery store. Here is the secret they don't want you to know. Most grocery store pound cakes use aerated vegetable oil to mimic the texture of butter. When I did a side-by-side breakdown of the Members Mark ingredients versus the leading national brands, the difference was staggering. We're talking about a weight-to-volume ratio that's nearly 20% denser than the stuff you find at your local supermarket. That density is exactly why it's going fast, It feels like a $40 artisanal loaf, but it's priced like a warehouse steal. But here's where things get really interesting. There's a specific hack that people are using with this item that's actually causing a secondary shortage in the dairy aisle. I know this sounds crazy, but stick with me, because if you're just eating this straight out of the box, you're doing it wrong. The pro-level move involves a very specific air fryer technique that turns this cake into something that honestly belongs in a Michelin star restaurant. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a second, but first, you need to understand why Sam's Club is willing to lose money on these ingredients just to get you in the door. It's called a loss leader strategy, and right now, they are using your sweet tooth to completely dominate the market. But there's a massive catch that most shoppers are completely ignoring. If you aren't looking at the pack date on the bottom of the container, you might be walking home with a product that's already past its prime. And with this specific high moisture recipe, that's a deal breaker. Now, you might be asking, how do I know if I'm getting the fresh batch or the one that's been sitting under the heat lamps? The answer is hidden in a 3-digit code that most people walk right past. Look at the top right corner of the member's mark label. There's a small, 3-digit Julian date code that most shoppers completely ignore. If that number doesn't match the current day of the year, you're looking at yesterday's bake. And with a high moisture cake like this, that's the difference between a gourmet experience and a dry disappointment. But it gets worse if you're planning on just putting this in your pantry. Because of that high real butter content I mentioned, this thing is a magnet for moisture loss the second you crack the seal. Here is the pro-level secret that's currently blowing up on food hacker forums. You don't eat it cold. If you take a thick slice of this French vanilla pound cake and throw it in an air fryer at 350 degrees for exactly 3 minutes, the exterior sugars undergo a rapid Maillard reaction. It creates a shattering, crisp crust while the inside turns into a molten, custard-like texture that honestly puts $20 restaurant desserts to shame. I've seen people serve this at high-end dinner parties, and nobody, I mean nobody, believes it came from a warehouse club for under $10. But here is the real reason Sam's Club is winning this war right now. They aren't just selling you a cake. They are selling you a loss leader that's designed to get you to walk past the entire seasonal aisle. In my 15 years of analyzing these retail giants, I've seen this play before. It's the rotisserie chicken strategy applied to the bakery. They know that if they can get you hooked on a boutique quality pound cake that's going fast, you're going to renew that membership without a second thought. I know this sounds like a lot of drama for a bakery item, but stick with me, because there is one final gotcha you need to watch out for. Check the limit per member signs. Some locations are already starting to cap these at 2 per person because the resale market for local cafes and small caterers is starting to drain the inventory. It's getting that intense. If you want to make sure you're always the first to know about these under-the-radar warehouse steals before the crowds catch on, you need to be part of this community. I'm tracking these inventory shifts every single day, so you don't have to waste your gas money on an empty shelf. Now, you might be asking, what happens if I finally get my hands on one and it's actually sold out? Well, there's a plan B item in the frozen section that's actually made by the same supplier, and almost nobody realizes it's the exact same recipe. I'm going to break that down in my next video, so make sure your notifications are on. Go grab that cake before the afternoon rush hits, and I'll see you in the aisles.